I took the PMP by PMI and I passed. Hold, I know. You guys are probably thinking like, wait a minute, aren't I supposed to start school today? Wasn't I supposed to be preparing for school? We'll talk about that at the end. For now, let's just talk about the PMP. If you've never heard of the PMP before, PMP stands for Project Management Professional, and it's by the Project Management Institute, or PMI. I'll be honest with you, I'm feeling kind of sick right now, so I'm going to keep the video somewhat short, but I do want to talk about the resources that I use, maybe some tips that I can provide to you guys. And then, of course, there was a few issues that I had, so I do want to address those as well. I will have a link in the description below of some of the resources that I used, but the first one is a Udemy course by a guy named Andrew Ramdayal. His video is actually required. You have to basically, during the application process, you must prove that you've done 35 hours of training, and his course qualifies for that. So that's the reason why I used his course. He came highly recommended as well. Honestly, I think that he does a decent job of teaching the material. The problem is, to me, that he teaches way too much. It does get boring after a while. While I think that he teaches it very well, it's just too much. It's way more than it should be. I think that most of the information that he taught could probably have been done in like half the time, but it's supposed to be a 35-hour course, so he made it 35 hours. And don't worry, I will talk about the application process in a little bit because it sucks. The second thing that I used was PMI's official study hall. And it was definitely the most expensive, but it was, I don't know, I think like $79 or something like that. But it was really, really helpful. I mean, they ask questions in the same format that you'll get when you actually take the exam. Why? Because it's made by the same company. So that's really the main thing that I used it for, was just to understand the questions, the way that they ask questions, to understand kind of the different areas that I needed to work on, because of course it keeps up with your score and things. If you guys have ever used ISACA's Q&A database, or you've used CompTIA's learning thing, I mean, they all kind of look the same as far as like you can do flashcards, or you can do games, or you can do questions. It's all kind of like the same software that they all use. So that's what it was. But honestly, it was great for being able to actually see those type of questions, and it really helped. And I would honestly recommend it for everybody. The other resources are actually here on YouTube. So one of them is by a guy named Ricardo Vargas, and he actually has two videos that I would highly recommend you check out. One of them goes over PMBOK 6 and one goes over PMBOK 7. And the test actually covers both of them. So don't think that just having the latest version is going to work, because they don't cover the same things the same way. The 49 processes of PMBOK 6 can be kind of frustrating to memorize and to learn. I mean, not necessarily to memorize. You're not going to memorize them like in order, but learning how that whole thing flows can be really difficult. And his video was amazing. It was perfect. I've watched it multiple times. I did watch it between 1.5 and 1.75, but it was super, super helpful. And then his video on PMBOK 7 was also really great. This is a resource that I would highly, highly recommend that you guys use. And even though I'm certified, I will still be going back every now and then to rewatch his videos again, because I think they were that good. The other resource that I use is by David McLachlan. I think it's his name. And to be honest with you, it was really the one that I liked the most was the video. He did a complete breakdown of PMBOK 7th edition in about an hour, but he has so much more on his channel, and I used a lot of it too. So he does a ton of different questions. I mean, some of them are hours and hours long of just questions, practice questions that you can do to prepare for the PMP. And of course, he explains everything, and he does an excellent job. And it's another resource that I would highly, highly recommend that you guys check out. I want to talk about the testing experience because it was actually pretty unique. I did take the exam sitting right here at my desk, but the way that this exam works is it is 180 questions, but it's broken down into 3 different sections. So what happens is you will take 60 questions, and then you are given a 10-minute break if you want to take it. Then you have another 60 questions, you get another 10-minute break, and then you have your final 60 questions. It was kind of cool because it's the first time I've seen it on like an official exam before, but you have the ability to strike out questions. You have the ability to highlight questions with different colors. And you also have a calculator that you can use as well. It's all up there in the little testing bar or whatever. So I thought that was kind of cool. It does have a section for comments, but I don't think that you actually keep those comments. I think once you type the comment in, it just sends it off to PMI. I'm not sure if it stays with you the entire test. I didn't actually use it, but that's something that's there as well. As far as the results are concerned, you get your results immediately. It'll tell you right then and there when you finish, congratulations, you passed, or I'm assuming, sorry, you didn't pass. You don't immediately get the score report though. So it just tells you if you passed or failed. After that, it took, I don't know, maybe 10 minutes before I got an email saying you can now look at your score report. And I am happy to say I got above target, which is great. And then it also breaks down each of the 3 domains. So there's people, processes, and business requirements. And I got above target on all 3 of those too, which is wonderful. So that's basically how that works out. I don't know when I'm actually going to get my certificate. It's my understanding they don't actually ship you one. You only get a digital version, which I'm fine with that. I'll just go print it out as soon as it shows up. But it's been a couple of hours since I took the exam and it's not available yet. It does say it can take between 24 to 48 hours. Not a big deal to me. I'm just happy that I passed, to be honest. The application process is really interesting because you don't actually do the application process after the exam. You must do the application process before you can even get approved to schedule the exam, which that in itself is a little annoying. What honestly pissed me off, even though I qualified technically, is that you have to go to school. Like if you didn't finish high school or got a GED or anything like that, you can't take this exam. And that makes no sense. The fact that you may or may not have finished high school should have nothing at all to do with whether you're able to take this exam. I think that's fucking stupid, but that's their rules, so it is what it is. There are 2 other requirements as far as the application goes. One of them is that you must do a course, a 35-hour course. You don't have to do it all at once, I don't think, but you have to show 35 hours of having official training, which you can do through Udemy courses. I think most people probably use Udemy courses, so that's not a big deal. And then the other one is you have to actually prove that you've done a certain amount of project management experience. I can't remember exactly what it is, so I'll put it up here. But basically, if you attended a college and you finished your bachelor's or whatever, there's a certain amount of hours that you must have as project management. But if you don't have that, then at a bare minimum, you must have a high school diploma or GED, and you'll have I think 2 more years worth of project management experience that you must be able to prove before you can take the exam. I don't know if I said it or not, but the application process can take up to 5 business days, and that's what happened with me. So I basically finished the application on a Saturday, and then it took them until Friday to approve the application. Luckily, they approved it on the first try, and I didn't have to go through a whole lot of extra stuff, but it is possible that you could be audited either at the time of the application or audited in the future. So of course, don't lie, because that's just not a good idea. But yeah, the application process, once the application process is approved though, it's actually really, really smooth after that, because you can pretty much immediately pay the money, schedule the exam, and you're good to go. And that's it. So if you guys are wondering what's next for me, I'm in school now. Today's officially the first day. I'll be honest with you, as I said before, I don't really feel so good. So although I'm super excited to start, although I have talked to my program mentor and I've unlocked my classes, I'm not actually starting until tomorrow. I'm just going to use the rest of today to kind of relax a little bit, because yeah, the PMP was a lot. It took a lot out of me, for sure. I'm super, super happy that I passed. If you guys are wondering in terms of difficulty, I genuinely feel like this was the most difficult exam that I have taken so far in my career. It definitely was the longest, at least it felt like it. That being said, I've never gotten a really, really, really good score. So the fact that I was above target and everything was great, and that makes me feel wonderful. It's a beautiful, wonderful way to kick off the new month. I'm going to take the rest of the day to relax, and then tomorrow I will officially be starting school. And yeah, that's about it. So I appreciate you guys watching, and I will see you guys on my next video.